Welcome, everyone. My name is Janty. Today is December 5th. It is a Monday. This is the first of our North American Circassian classes. I am working the control panel here, so I'm furiously getting more people into the class. So if you see me looking over to my other screen, that's what's going on. I'm not sure how many people are going to show up. I can tell you 123 people registered.
Oh, that's
so
good.
that's a lot larger than I ever would have expected. As people are coming in, let me kind of warm everybody up and lay down a couple of ground rules, manage expectations, and then we can kind of get into the class. So my name is Janty. I'm here to try to help anyone and everyone who wants to learn Circassian. Classes are open to anyone, Circassian, non-Circassian, somebody who heard the language and wants to learn, somebody whose parents, whatever. You guys, everyone's welcome to be here, right? That's number one. Number two, this is not an all or nothing thing. If you come to 2 or 3 classes and then something happens and you can't make it to a class, it breaks my heart when I hear this. People say, oh, I missed 2 classes, so I just gave up. No, keep coming. Keep coming. As long as you come, I will do my best to teach. I've got a whole new set of materials, a whole new method that I'll get into in just a few moments, such that if you come to 10 classes, you'll learn 10 things. You come to 3 classes, you'll learn 3 things. I promise you, the way that these classes are set up, you won't miss anything, right? Every class is... The way I'm positioning this is that every class is almost like an episode in a TV show. If you come to the whole series, you're going to get a lot of value. But if you can only make it to a few classes, you're still going to walk away with some value, right? So I just want to lay that out there. What else? We have a couple of ground rules. There's 3 of them, really. Number 1, we don't talk about politics. Number 2, we don't talk about religion. Number 3, we don't laugh at anyone in the class. This is a safe environment for people to learn, for people to make mistakes, for people to break their tongue on some of the harder to pronounce Circassian words. God knows when I speak to my kids, when I speak to my wife in my house, I swallow half the sounds half the time. So if I can make mistakes, you guys can make mistakes. This is a fun, safe environment. There's no such thing as a mistake. There's just a couple of trip ups on this journey that we're taking in order to learn Circassian. So those are some pretty simple rules. We have 32 people in the class today. What I'd like to do very quickly is do a round robin. I will say your name because I see you in an order on the little attendance screen. I'll say your name. I'd like you to pronounce your name as you would like it pronounced to the class. Tell us where you're from and tell us one word in Circassian you know. And don't say bzaja, because everyone knows bzaja. You cannot say bzaja. Choose one other word that you know. And that'll be a way for us to introduce ourselves to one another, get to know one another, and we can go from there. One last thing, if you are comfortable, I really would like you to have your camera on. If you're not comfortable with your camera on, if you're not in a position to turn it on, that's okay. But generally speaking, we try to have cameras on as much as possible.
Yeah. Just stop right here. Let me just check this car real quick.
And if you're driving, Murad, please mute the microphone. Okay, so let's start with Marge.
Actually, Donna.
I'm looking on my...
I know.
The reason I do it this way is because everyone's is different.
I know. It's his...
oh, iPad. I'm sorry. Okay.
He's planning to join, but he has some work to take care of. So it's me who signed up for the class. My name is Donna, and I'm a mother for 2 kids, 23 and 21. I'm really interested. I understand Adiga almost like, I would say sometimes like 50% of the conversation, but not as much as I was hoping for.
Okay.
Hopefully I can pick up speaking it. One word I know, like Wina.
Wina. Okay, good. Next person, Leila. Leila Osoy.
Yes, my name is Leila Assoy. I was born in Canada, raised in Canada. My parents are from Turkey. They're Kabarday. They speak, they're very good Kabarday, but they didn't teach us to us, me and my sister and brother. So I'm interested in trying to learn some Adiabsa. So a word I know, a phrase, Sitwada, means how are you?
Good. All right. Next up, we have Abulkhil. Abulkhil. Aboullkhill.
That's me. Sorry. Yeah, I'm working on that, getting that fixed. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm Khalid. I'm from Jordan, and I don't know anything in Circassian. Sorry.
Okay. Are you in Jordan now, or are you in North America?
No, I'm in Canada right now, but I immigrated.
Got it. Cool. Whereabouts in Canada are you?
Ontario, near Toronto.
Okay. I was just up in Toronto a few weeks ago.
Oh, did you have fun?
I had a great time. I met up with a bunch of my former students, Inel being one of them. All right. We have, the attendance thing is jumping around. I have Adam. I have two Adams, but I have one Adam who did not give the last name. So that's the Adam I'm going to go to.
Hey, good evening, Janty and everyone. This is Adam Tamzok. Great to be in the class. I actually grew up speaking Circassian as my first language, but after going to school, it was difficult for me to continue speaking at home and just switched to English almost exclusively. So I understand almost 100% of it. I just need to exercise the speaking muscles. So I live in New Jersey, and let's see. A word that I know is Shanarubja.
Say it again.
Shanarubja.
Shanarubja.
Like the window.
Window.
Window, yeah.
Shanarubja. Okay, cool. Qiblara. Next up, we have the next Adam, Adam Tochtamish.
Hello.
Hello, Adam.
Yeah, I'm Adam. I don't really know that much Circassian. I'm hoping to learn from this.
Okay. And where are you from, and where are you now?
Well, I'm currently in North Carolina. Yeah.
We is Russia. Okay, so we'll come back to him. Alana. Do we have an Alana? Okay, we'll come back to Alana.
Here, unmute. Here, I did it myself. Here, say my name's Inel.
Hi, sorry, it wouldn't unmute me.
No worries.
Hi.
My name's Alana.
I know what to say.
Okay, go ahead.
My name's Alana. I'm from New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's it?
And do you know a Circassian word or no? Okay, good.
Not a
try.
single word?
Nope.
Do you know the word
Sadly.
adiga?
Yeah.
You know at least one word. We all know more than we think. We all know more than we think. We all know more than we think. All right. We got next Aslan Barzbeh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aslan Barzbeh. I live in New Jersey, but I was born in Syria, lived in Abu Dhabi, and I also lived in Utah. I joined the first time you did this class, which I think was a year and a half ago, but I could not continue, and now hopefully I'm here for the long run. One word I know, let's see, I know a few words, but I guess an easy one is whoopso.
Whoopso. Whoopso. Thank you. Whoopso. Well, whoopso, Aslan. All right.
Whoopso
Who
wij.
we got next? Whoopso wij. Whoopso wij. Berzej. Ghash.
Janty. Hi everyone, my name is Berzej Lish. I live in California, and one word in Adiabza that I know is Yajapa.
Yajapa, school. I thought you were going to say Zaguar.
Zaguar, mist.
Mist Guar. All right. Next up, we got Brandon Garcia.
Hi. My name's Brandon. I'm from New York, but I currently live in South Korea right now. One thing I know how to say in Circassian, Daoshut.
Daoshit, how are you? Welcome, Brandon. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Man, my attendance thing keeps jumping around. Let's see. We have next Emir Gudev.
Hi, my name is Emir. I live in New York, and the only Circassian know is whoopso.
Well, pleased to have you here. Inel.
Hi, everyone. My name is Inel. I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'm originally from Caucasus, Cherkessk. I've actually attended the class last year, so I remember quite a few words, but one of them is shala.
Shala, yeah. God, if you don't know that one word, I probably said that word a million zillion times. Next up, we have Janine.
Hi, my name is Janine. I'm from New Jersey and I live in New Jersey. I know a few words in Circassian because my grandparents taught me a few and my mom, but I mean, I kind of forgot them all, but one word I know is shkin, which means food, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
You did. You pronounced it right. Beautifully.
Yeah, thank you. And sitweda.
Sitweda. How are you? How are you? All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We have Jenna.
I'm from New Jersey, and despite learning Circassian for a while, I don't know how to pronounce the majority of them, so I don't really know any.
All right. When people speak, do you understand it?
I mean, I know some words. Get out of here.
Give me one word that you know.
Hang on, I got like a whole notebook. 1 second. Let me see. Oops.
She's got notes.
I do. I have notes. Ooh.
We can come back to you if I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't really know which because I don't know how to pronounce any of them.
Okay.
Even though I wrote down the pronunciation.
No worries. No worries. We'll circle back. Next person, Kava. Kave.
Hi, I'm Kava, from California and still in California. And I don't know really any Circassian, but I did look up a word, gua.
Gua. To go. Are you Circassian or are you an enthusiast?
Enthusiast.
Okay. Welcome. Welcome. We have Lana T.
Hi, hello. This is Donna, Lana's mom. She's 8. She's You want to say hi, Lana?
Hi.
Lana?
Hi.
Hi, Lana.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, they're pretty shy.
That's
you know
okay. My
words,
son's
Lana?
8. No.
I get it. I
was born in New Jersey, but we moved to North Carolina.
Do you like it there in North Carolina, Lana?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, they're pretty shy. Also, if you get to Liana to Township, she's also mine. So I'll introduce her for you here. She's kind of shy as well. So they don't really know anything. I taught them 1 or 2 words as much as I know that I learned through your classes online a bit and through some classes I took at the CBA back in New Jersey.
Okay.
So I know wepso, winna, a few numbers in Circassian, but I don't think I'm saying them properly. I guess z for wait, like so it's my pronunciation. Z, yeah. And thought for yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think way.
You're off to a great start.
Yeah.
You're off to a great start.
I'm guessing warada means song.
Yes, warada means song.
Sorry means all, and I'm picking it up from listening to poems and Circassian folk songs here and there. So
you're going to be
it's
teaching this
helped
class
out.
in no time.
Oh no! We'll keep that job to you. I'm sure you'll do a way better job.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. We have my cousin, Lawrence Suzette.
What's up, Janty? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man.
I am from New Jersey, and my word for you is whoopso. Whoopso for doing these classes.
Whoopso-wish, whoopso-wish. Okay, next up, Lara.
Everyone, my name is Lara, and I'm not Circassian. I'm a language enthusiast. I grew up in Russia, but right now I live in Canada. I know a lot of words in West Circassian, but it's different from East Circassian, so I don't know if there are any words that are the same in both dialects. I'll try nasip. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, nasip. I know one word. So.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Reblar.
Whoopso.
Whoopso-wish. We did Leila. Liana. Tochtemish. Is Liana with us?
Yeah, Liana's she's really shy. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, she's very shy.
That's fine.
She's still young. She's 12 years old.
Okay. Next up, we have Margarita. We have two Margaritas, so the one who did not give us a last name.
Hi there. Yeah, my name is Margarita. I live in New York City, originally from Moscow. The one word that I know would be, say, bzu. I think that means bird.
I knew you were going to say bzu.
Oh, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I attended this class before. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. Remind me of your bird's name again?
Shogi.
Shogi. That's right. All right. We have another Margarita. Quinones. I can't pronounce your last name. I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, that's Quinones, and I'm actually from Poland, and I live in Poland. I just left the Spanish version of my name, which in Polish is Małgorzata. And I heard Circassian some 8 years ago, and I couldn't get it off my head ever since. So I really want to learn it, and I can say Daushit Sasic Małgorzata.
Wow. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
We have Murad. You're still on mute, Murad. Or if you're driving, if it's not safe to talk, we'll talk later. Okay, we have Natasha. Is there a Natasha with us?
Yes. Sorry, trying to figure out Zoom on my phone. Hello, everyone. My name is Natasha Kato, maiden name Butch. Give credit to those. I am from Seattle, based in New Jersey now, though, and the word that I have is wawa'a, something I've learned to say a lot to my 2-year-old.
Wawa'a. Stop.
Yeah.
Wawa'a.
Yes.
That's a good one. Let's see. We have Russia.
Hey, Janty. Hi, everyone. Rasha Altidoka. Back in New Jersey after some years abroad. So hi, everyone. My word, because I'm wearing them, is Nawinga.
What's the word again?
Nawinga?
Nawinga. Glasses.
Nawinga. Yes.
Nawinga, Nawudja. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard different ones, but that's my oversimplified version. And apologies, I'm gonna hop off soon, but thanks I made the round. So hi, everyone.
You're good. Did I give Cedra a chance to introduce?
No.
Did Cedra go?
Not yet.
Go for it.
So, my name is Sidra Varsbay. I am actually Aslan's sister, I mean. And I was born and raised in Abu Dhabi, but currently I am in Toronto, Canada. And 3 words I can count to 3 in Circassian. Z, O, Sh.
Excellent. Excellent. Not a lot of people know numbers. That's good. We have Sirsa.
Hi, Janty. Hi, everyone. My name is Sirsa Shaib. I live in New Jersey. My parents from Syria, and I remember my mom always used to tell me "Qahwi ar, qahwi ar." So that's basically it. And I would like to remember Circassian. It used to be my first language, so I'm very excited.
Well, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you. Let's see. We're almost done. We have next Tamara Batal.
Hello, I'm Tanata. This is my dad. Salmon. We're from New Jersey. The only word I know, more of a phrase, Sidwilaja.
Sitwilaja, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, do you know any words?
Yeah, I know a couple words. My pa'a.
Pa'a. Hats.
Yeah, that's it.
Good. Well, welcome both. Welcome both. Sonata, Kat.
Yes, hi. My name is Tanata Kat. I'm based out of Toronto, but I'm originally Syrian. And the word that I know is hello, bread.
Hello. Yes. Hello. Yes. Oh, been ages since I've heard that word. Let's see. We've got Travis.
Howdy. Name's Travis from the US in Utah right now. I don't know if you can hear all the background noise. This is the quietest place in the library I could find.
No background noise at all.
But I'm not Circassian, don't have a drop of Circassian in me. I just think the languages of the Caucasus are cool. And I don't know any words yet. So let me just pick a random one from the Adiga Wikipedia page. Apparently, khatak means chair. Is that true?
Don't think so. Can't trust everything on Wikipedia. I'll teach you a really simple word. Your first word, antla, means yes.
How do I spell it?
N-T-U-H. Antla.
Duh.
Antla means yes.
Yes.
All right. And last on my list, but that doesn't mean that we hit everybody because the attendance thing keeps jumping. We have Yamiz and Nafin.
Okay, Nafin, you're on the spot. Go.
Hi, I'm Nafin Bashkaz, and this is Yamiz, my brother. He's attended this class previously and said good things. So as my brother Aslan, so I wanted to join this time. And the word I know is ma'arissa.
Ma'arissa. That's a good one. Apple.
That stuck with me.
There's a Nart saga about Yamiz stealing the golden Ma'arissa.
Oh.
And your brother's name is Yamiz, so it's a Nart name.
How funny.
It wasn't me, I swear.
Yeah. And what about you, Yamiz? What's your, I know you know many words. What's the one you're going to choose?
Shurupsha.
Shurupsha. To have forgotten.
Yes. I think I might say that a lot, so.
Yeah. All good. All right. Is there anybody that I did not call on that would like to introduce themselves?
Hi, my name is Narina. I was born in Greece. I lived a little bit in Syria, but I lived most of my life in New Jersey. The word I know is shashrahakwak.
Shashrahatwapok. Good night.
Yeah, I said it in a bazar, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Anybody else I did not introduce or who did not introduce themselves yet?
Salam everyone. My name is Aslan Faj. I'm living right now in New Jersey. I'm on my way back home, so won't see you guys until a while. And yeah, I could, if you want a word, I could say it's habsh, which is how much.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All right. Well, one of the most important things in this class is that we all feel like we're a community of people, right? Language is not something we study like math or science, which are useful. It's an instrument that we use to actually communicate to other human beings. And everyone in this class is going to be spending a lot of time communicating with one another. We just spent about 30 minutes doing the introductions. I think that's a very, very important, very critical part of what we're trying to accomplish. We're not going to do that every class. Hopefully, as time goes on, we're going to build those connections, get more comfortable talking to one another. But thank you, everyone who spoke. Thank you, everyone, for sharing a little bit. I know among Circassians, sometimes we can ridicule one another for saying a wrong word, saying something a little bit off, a little bit wonky. I felt in a lot of people's voices some concern, some trepidation. And so thank you for having the courage to share. You will be making lots of little, oh, I didn't quite say that the right way or whatever. It's all good. Don't ever apologize for having something come out a certain way. Just celebrate the fact that you felt comfortable trying, because that's how we're all going to get learned. That's how we're all going to get learned. Look at me. That's how we're all going to learn. All right. So with that, let's actually jump in. Who wants to actually start learning? You guys want to start learning? You guys ready? All right.
Hey, can I ask?
What's that?
Is there a particular dictionary that you'd recommend?
There's the one that I'm working on, which is probably the best one, but it's not available yet.
Okay.
So let's talk about dialects and resources for just a moment. I'm going to bring you guys back over to my main screen because this comes up a lot. You know, where can I go get resources? Where can I get stuff? For some reason, Circassians all over the world seem to think that we don't have dictionaries. My entire top shelf here, you can't see it, is full of dictionaries, right? Highly academically valid dictionaries. We have no shortage of them. Challenge is they're always printed, right? There's not a lot of electronic dictionaries that are out there, but they do exist. There's two dialects of Circassian. There's Western and there's Eastern. I think there's a lot of misinformation over, oh, there's all these different dialects. There's accents, like there's a Texan accent versus a Californian accent versus a New England accent. But when it comes to dialects, there's two. There's Western, which is, we're going to be learning Eastern, which is Kabardian. So there's Western, which is sometimes called Adiyean. The literary standard for it, for those of you who speak Arabic, the Fusha, we call it Chacha in Kabardian. We call it Chacha. They call it, I forget what they call it. They don't call it Adiyean. Chacha is a little bit like modern standard Arabic, MSA. It's not a human language that is spoken by everybody in their home, just like modern standard Arabic is not spoken in the home, right? It's the language of newspapers, it's the language of media, which does exist in Adiyeya, which is where that language is spoken, right? It's closest to Bjadoch, right? It's closest to Bjadoch. Actually, it's closest to Chemkwe, right? That's what it's closest to. But Chemkwe and Bjadoch are very close to one another. It's a little bit further from Shapsuch, and it's a lot further from Abazak. So a lot of people will say, well, I want to learn Abazak, I want to learn Shapsuch. Abazak and Shapsuch would be like Levantine Arabic or Moroccan Arabic, right? And what is taught, what you see in the books, what you see in newspapers, magazines, to the extent that there's video, it's all going to be the Fusha, the literary standard, which Kabardians call Chacha. On the Eastern front, right, there's Kabardian, and then there's, what's the other one? Beslaneh, all right? Beslaneh and Kabardian are so close. I often will speak to somebody who's Beslani and think that they're Kabardian. It's like New York versus New Jersey. That's how close the accent is. So it's not a huge difference. In this class, there's no such thing as something that's wrong, right? So if I say we mafufua, good day to you, and you say we mafufua back to me, that's fine. That's not Kabardian, but that's not wrong, right? If I say twa for 5 and you say tf for 5, that's not wrong. So I'm not going to get down to that nitpicky. If somebody says sitweda or situweda, which we don't really say in Kabardian and standard Kabardian, that's fine because that's a valid form of the language, right? So Eastern versus Western. In terms of dictionaries, there's nothing that I'm aware of that is correct enough for me to recommend it to you. There is there's something that somebody pulled together in Wikipedia. It's got errors in it, and I'm not sure where half the words came from. In this class, when you get into the materials, I will make my materials available to everyone. I'll drop the link into the chat in just a moment. You can see everything, and everything that you're going to see in this class it's written in Circassian, but it's also transliterated into English letters for those of you who are not able to read Circassian. Okay. Before we get in, are there any other questions about dialect or resources or alphabet or anything that anybody has any questions about?
I have like a logistical question.
Sure.
So the class is both Monday and Saturday, or are those two different streams?
It's one stream. So that's a great question. I'm trying to hit as many people as possible and make this class available to as many people as possible. So the North American section, I'm in Chicago. The North American section for me is 5:30 my time. It's 6:30 your time. We run for 90 minutes. 90 minutes is a sweet spot. That's what we've found in past classes. This same audience will meet again on Saturday, and we will continue with what we're doing. My Eurasian section meets on Thursdays, morning my time, evening their time. But when they meet with us on Saturday, Saturday is a global class. And it's an important aspect of this class for people to meet Circassians from all over the world. I got to tell you, half the people here are of Syrian origin. I probably know half your parents. I know the last names of your families, and I see your faces, and I know guys my age. I'm older than I look. I know guys my age. I'm like, I know who that is. Oh, they're related to this person, you know? So it's a fun, wonderful experience when you see that with Circassians who are from Turkey or from Russia, or we even had one from Australia, and we had one from Madagascar last time around. So just seeing Circassians, speaking to Circassians, seeing those common facial characteristics, seeing that family last name, seeing the same family last name spelled 4 different ways, right? That's just kind of a fun thing. So, but that's the logistics portion of this. Any other administrative, logistic, or structural questions? All right. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start learning. All right. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
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 And somebody can't. Okay. All right. So the way this class is structured, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview. The way that this class is structured is we are all characters. We are all characters. Your character is your name. Okay. My character is I'm the teacher. I'm Janty. That is my name. In every class, like I said before, we structure this like a TV show, right? So with the exception of class 0, which is where we are right here, we're going to cover a verb. All right. In that verb, and I'll show you what that means. That verb is a microstory. None of these stories are actually directly connected to one another. So if you come to all 100 classes, you're going to learn 100 verbs, and you're going to learn 300 nouns, and you're going to learn 300 additional adjectives, and you're going to have a massive vocabulary. If you come to 10 classes, you're going to learn 10 verbs. If you come to class 1, 3, 7, and 32, you're going to learn 3 verbs, and you'll benefit by going to all the classes, but you won't lose anything if you have to skip a class or if you can only watch one of the catch-up sessions, right? Because the method that we're using here is a storytelling method, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, the way that all these stories are going to be told, I got so many students. All right, so you guys unfortunately are going to see the side of my face for a good portion of the class because I got to move you to my second screen here. Give me a second. Okay. There we go. We got a new student coming in. So in every single class, I'm going to present you with the story. I will provide an overview on everything that we're going to cover. I'm then going to demonstrate it with a few of you. All right. We will then go into breakout rooms where you guys can practice it on your own without me. Right. And that's another opportunity to meet more people. It's an opportunity to practice with people who are of different skills, of different levels, of different backgrounds. And the way that we do this is we always put 3 people in a room. 1 person listens, 1 person speaks, 1 person answers, because listening is also a skill, right? Also, if you get stuck with somebody who's having a bad day, their camera's not working, they're in a bad time zone, something just doesn't gel between you guys, you still have an opportunity because there's another person in that little breakout room. Those breakout rooms will last for anywhere from 3 to 12 minutes. It kind of depends on how complex the topic is that we're covering. Let me see. Okay, somebody had to drop out. That's fine. So that's how we cover that. And in every class, we've covered, this is the structure of how we actually operate. I will present to you a piece of information. And when I do, Yamiz, what do I say? Yamiz? When I present information? I say class, okay?
Class, yeah.
And when I say class, Yamiz, what's everybody supposed to say as enthusiastically as possible?
Sit.
Sit. Can you please model the behavior, Yamiz?
Yes, Nafin and I will model the behavior.
Okay, so sit. All right. So when I say class, you're going to say sit. Ah, you're learning. And I'm going to present you a new piece of information. And when I do that, we're going to say, ooh, you have to use the hands. There's neuro-linguistic process. No, I'm just kidding. You got to use the hands. All right. You got to use the hands. Okay. So we're going to present that information. Then we're going to practice. And the way that we practice is part of this little secret sauce that we do. First, I'm going to ask everybody a yes or no question. Very simple. And you're going to answer yes or no. And here's the words for yes or no. Yes is inta and no is hawa. And don't worry, because we're going to do this as a class. So if anybody's mistaken or not sure, you can hide among all the people who think they know what they're saying. So we're going to ask yes or no questions. Then we're going to ask either or questions. Then we're going to go to who, what, why, where, when questions. So for those of you who have been in my past classes, this method, this content is not new. However, you're going to see that the structure of these slides is very, very new. So let me just kind of give you guys an overview of how these materials work, and then we'll jump in. So we have the name of the story, which is usually a verb. Here it's not, in the top title, right? So mir, which I didn't transliterate. Hey, shoot me. Mir or this, that's what it means, okay? Then I provide you with the translation, the English translation. This is a boy, right? The Circassian, mir salas. And then the second part of the story here, the boy's name is Osman. Salim Yitzar Osman. And again, I'm always going to be referring to the Circassian. Hopefully over time, you will organically pick up the Circassian, but I provided a transliteration key down here so you guys can follow along. Here we have all the question words. I will be using question words and you will be using answer words in some of the interactive exercises. So the word for what means is sit. Chet, it means who. Dana, dawa, dapsha, sichhacha, anta, hawa, awa, hamra means or. And then the way that we negate words in Kabardian is by adding this qim to the end of it. Okay, so for those of you who did not spend much or any time in the Caucasus, you might have heard im instead of qim. Both are correct, but I will be using qim, right? So mirsalas, this is a boy. Mirsalaqam, this is not a boy. You might have heard people in your community say mirsalaqam, right? They don't put the qam, it's a qaf in Arabic. They don't put the qam, they just say im instead. Still correct. That's an example, just different accents, like a southern accent versus a northern accent, that sort of thing. Is that clear? I know it's weird because it's new, but is there anything ambiguous in that? Okay, cool.
So when you're saying mirshal, you weren't putting this that's at the end of the word as we see it here. So what's that supposed to be? Does that mean is?
Yep. So in Eastern Circassian, which is what we're doing here, which is Kabardian, when we make a positive statement, I'm not saying positive, like you're a great guy. When we make a positive statement that's not negative in nature, okay? Most of the time, it's complicated, but most of the time we add sh to the end of the thing that we're saying is positive or is true or is the thing that we're saying to show that we're making a statement as opposed to asking a question. Okay. So there's exceptions to that, and we'll get into them. If you have specific questions about grammar, I'm happy to answer them. If we go too deep, we can take it offline. I've written a book on Circassian grammar. There's probably not a question you can ask that I don't have an answer for, but grammar can be scary to some people. So I prefer to just keep things at the topical level and answer specific questions related to the phrase. But if you have a structural question like that, ask me and we can work it through. Okay. All right. So let's jump in. Class.
Sit.
Sit.
All right. No. Class.
Sit.
Oh, fedidas. Mersalas. Mersalas. Class.
Sit.
Salem Yitzar Wasmanch. Salem Yitzar Wasmanch. Aslan. Barzbe.
Yes.
Sa Shala.
Osmanish.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't give you the second part of this. So what we have down here, the reason that there's no verb in this sentence is because in Circassian, in the present tense, like Russian, we don't use the verb to be. We just say this boy, right? This is a boy. We don't have the verb is. We just say this boy. However, every verb in Circassian uses these little prefix thingies to show who is using the verb, right? So in this case, I would say sa, s means I am. W means you are. Ar, there's no prefix. Okay, so sa, s, jantish. I am Janty. W, salas. Aslan. I'm talking to you, Aslan. Wa salas. And then if we're talking about anyone else in this class, if we're talking about a male, if we're talking about a female, if we're talking about an animal, if we're talking about a human, if we're talking about a book, ar, we have one type of pronoun, ar. He, she, it, ar, singular, okay? And then, hang on, is mine, I have a mistake here. Give me a second. And then when we ask questions, the question form of the verb is often very different. So that's why we have this table here. So that's how to read these tables down here. And what we do in every class and every microstory, we give you all the information necessary to understand anything that I'm going to say in this class and to construct a grammatically correct response to anything that I say. So I'm going to choose Yamiz and Margarita because they were in my last class, and we're going to model this behavior so that everyone can follow along. Other than Margarita and Yamiz, I would ask that everybody mute their microphones, and we're just going to pretend that Margarita and Yamiz are the only people in this class, and we're going to go through this, okay? All right, and don't worry, I know it's been a while since you guys have had a class, so we'll go slow, okay? So, Margarita, Yamiz.
Sit, Janty.
Mirsalas. Ooh, Mirsalas. Margarita.
Sit.
Sashala.
Ta, wo shalish.
Sashalas. Sashalas. Mirsalas. Sashalas. This is a boy. and I am a boy. Yemiz. ووصالة.
انت استسش آلش.
انت ووصالش. ووصالش. يمز.
ست.
نفن صالة.
حوا.
حوا.
نفن
نفنش عالقم. نفنش عالقم. نفنش عالقم. سسش عالة. يمز سسش عالة.
انت
سسش عالش. سسش عالش. مارغريتا.
ست.
عالم يتصر وسمانش. اوه عالم يتصر وسمانش. مارغريتا.
ست.
سيتصر وسمان.
حوا وويتسر جانتيش.
هاجس. correct. سيتصر جانتيش. سيتصر جانتيش. مارغريتا.
ست.
ستويتصر.
سيتسر مارغريتاش.
وويتصر مارغريتاش. هاج. سيتصر مارغريتا.
حوا.
سيتصر.
وويتسر جانتيش.
هاج. عالم يتصر جانتي.
حوا. شالم يتسر جانتي قم.
ست عالم يتصر.
شالم يتسر أسمانش.
يمز.
ست.
وسمانش عالة.
انت وسمانش عالة.
وسمانش عالش. عالم يتصر وسمان. حمرا روبرت.
عالم يتصر أوسمانش.
باج. عالم يتصر وسمانش. عالم يتصر وسمانش. مارغريتا.
ست.
وسمان شعلة حمرا خجبز.
وسمان شالش.
وسمان شعالش. وسمان شعالش. يمز.
ست.
What's khajebs in English?
Girl.
Girl. Girl. Pej. 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 Let me think. So we did the yes, no, we did the either or. Okay. Yemiz.
ست.
Khach'ala.
خشعالة. شعالة أوسمانش.
Khach'ala wasmansh.
شعالة أوسمانش.
Sh'ala wasmansh. Sh'ala wasmansh. Wasman sit.
Osman Sh'alash.
Wasman Sh'alash. Arpej. Arpej. So that is an example of, we just went through this micro story. If there were just these people, let me move this. I hate looking at the side of my face. So we just went through that little micro story, right? And this is how we are structuring the entire class. What you see is lots of repetition, lots of practice. I manage the vocabulary to what's on the screen. I did introduce one word, girl, but I made sure that people knew what it was. And I knew Yemiz knew what it was as well. But all the ingredients to understand what I am saying are available to you on the screen. So you get to practice listening comprehension, but you have this aid of the written materials that are on the screen, okay? And all the information necessary to produce grammatically correct statements are also available, but you're not reading anything, okay? And most critically, you're not sitting there waiting for me to, we've all been in that class. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? And you're practicing in your head. You're not contextualizing it. You're just practicing these sounds. Then you spit out these sounds and you say, oh, thank God that's done. And then they skip you and go on to the next. Here, you actually have to think about the story. Wait, is Janty a boy? Who's the boy's name? You're actually processing the information, right? And as time goes on, we'll make the story. We can make these stories as complex as we want. Depending on your vocabulary, I can wrap as many things around this as I want, right? But that's the basic of how this class is going to be structured, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you guys into the breakout rooms. I'm going to put 3 of you in a room, and I'd like you guys to practice this, okay? Now, here's the way that the rooms work. One person is going to be speaking and making statements. One person is going to be so you'll be saying a statement, the other person will be asking you a question. It doesn't matter who goes first, right? The third person is going to be listening. because listening is an active skill that needs development as well, right? So you're going to do round robin. One person will make statements, one person will ask questions, then you'll switch, and you want to take turns. So the person who's listening is always going to be, by the time you're done with this little breakout session, each of the three people in your group will ask a question, will make an answer, and will be listening, right? So all three of you will do all three of those skills. I'm going to give you guys 6 minutes, right? I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to kind of introduce yourselves, get to know each other, and then 5 minutes to kind of practice this. I will be dropping into the breakout rooms in silent conversational mode. So if you see me drop in, just keep doing what you're doing. If you have a question, ask me that question, and that's what we're going to do. Are there any questions about what we're about to do?
Yes. Are we gonna do we have to speak in Circassian or no?
Yes. As much as you can, you should be speaking in Circassian.
Okay.
Janty, quick question. So when we ask a question, we don't add sh at the end, right? This is only for statements. Okay.
That is correct. Okay. All right. So let me see. I'm going to go breakout rooms. How do I do this? It's been so long since I've taught these classes. Oh, first, let me pause the recording. I'm going to pause the share. No, I'm going to stop the share. All right. Now I'm going to pause the recording.
That speak Arabic, they'll combine Arabic words while they're talking in Circassian.
Yep.
So they're like hafla, they'll say haflam. Like I've heard them do that, so I would know like what they're saying. Like kalam, they'll bring that into the language too.
Yep. So I'll get to that. So the question that came up is, when I'm in this class, I say, Mirsalas. This is a boy. Sasitsar Jantish. My name is Janty. And but sometimes we know people who say Sasa Adigas, Sasa Jantis. Right? That sort of thing.
Yes.
And the point that I was making is that these are both correct. Okay. When language goes through a standardization process, right? The English that is spoken in Canada is a little different than the English that's spoken in the United States. We cut a lot of U's out of our words, like behavior, right? And things like this. The language that's spoken in the UK is a little bit different than here. It's been standardized in a different way. So if somebody spells behavior with an extra U in Canada, it's not wrong. It's just not what we do here in the United States. Okay. Before language standardization took place, there were many different variations of Circassian, right? And I'm just talking about Kabardian, but the same is true with Western dialects. So somebody would say Sasa Adigas, somebody would say Sasa Adigam, right? The easiest example is like, I don't know, something. We've all heard this. Something, 2 sounds, something. The way that it's written and the way that I would say it is sarqam. So I add an R and I add a q, right? Sarqam. These are all correct, right? The reality when it comes to language is that what people, oh, that's not grammatically correct. You can't say ain't. Oh, you can't put a preposition at the end of a sentence. That's not grammatically correct. Human beings who speak the language set the standards of the grammar, not the other way around. When somebody says that's not correct, what they're really doing is they're excluding people that they think are of a different socioeconomic status, of a different social status, right? So it's not that Western Circassian is bad and Eastern Circassian is good. Within Eastern Circassian, it's not that Sasa Adigas is wrong and Sasa Adigas is right. That's not true at all. Anybody who says that is mistaken or trying to put somebody down. So these are both correct. And if you answer me with Sasa Adigas, that's fine. My son speaks that way. I have, in my household, my wife, my 5-year-old daughter, my 8-year-old son, we all speak Kabardian in the house as the primary language 99.9% of the time. My son, my daughter, my wife, and I all have 4 different regional accents. I have no idea why or how. I think it's because that's how stubborn Circassian people are. Somebody else, I think it was Narina, she raised the point of, language borrowing. Was it Narina who made the point?
Yes.
Okay. So you made the point, like whenever you hear people from the Middle East speak, they'll insert Arabic phrases into their or Arabic words, right? So I'm going to ask you right here and now, if you speaking in English are going to apply for a new job, you put all of your information on a sheet of paper and you give that to the company that you're applying to. What is that sheet of paper called in English?
Resume.
Yes, which is a French word. But if you say, oh, I don't want to work for somebody else, I'll open my own business. I will be a, what's the word? Entrepreneur. Another French word, right? So this is what language does. We eat pizza. We eat apple strudel, right? We eat sviha. We eat mlukhia. These are words that flow from one language to another. It's not bad. It's not wrong. This is the way that language evolves over time. In fact, it's the strength of a language, not the weakness of a language, that it can incorporate new words, new phrases, new ideas. That's why English is so hard to learn. And that's why English is full of so many different words and phrases, because it takes from so many other languages and incorporates into its own. Some linguists think that one of the main reasons that Circassian has survived in the modern age is because it does have that flexibility, and we can actually wrap non-Circassian words inside of Circassian, right? So the point that you raised. So my daughter, she says, Baba, are you boring, sissy dej? Right? Because she didn't know the word for boring. So she can say everything in perfect Kabardian, and then she gets that one word. Or what's also common are what are called phrasal verbs, right? They're a little bit difficult. So phrasal verbs are like stand up, go out, sit down, eat out. It's a phrase of two words that come together to show an action. So my children, they have troubles with this. Sometimes my daughter would say, "Oh, Baba, hang up the diblinum." Can we hang this up on the wall? She used the word hang up. So there's nothing wrong with this. It's much better to insert that one word or that one phrase and have a 90% Circassian sentence than to just give up and say, oh, it's all or nothing. I can't do it. I'll just convert to this other language. You have a question?
Yes. So a couple of people in chat were asking the difference between the and she suffix. I was wondering if you could clarify that.
Let me take a look at this. I'm sorry. Rather than me read, just give me the question real quick.
The suffix m and the suffix sh.
Qim is negation for nouns and often for verbs, but there's other ways to negate verbs. So qim is negation. Ish is a statement of factual. It's when we make a statement. Okay, so arsala, is that a boy? Nta mirsalas. Yes, this is a boy. Wawitsar Inel. Is your name Inel? Nta sasitsar Inels or Inels. Both are correct.
What about the m suffix shalam?
All right.
Shalam itzar.
Shalam itzar. All right, the short version. Circassian is an ergative language. 18% of languages on planet Earth are ergative. The other 82% of languages, the way that they treat direct objects and indirect objects is based on something else. The way that Circassian treats direct objects and indirect objects is a different method. As a result of that, okay, in English, we have a little bit of this. We would say, I give him the book. We would never say, I give he the book, right? So we change the pronoun he versus him based on whether he or him is doing the action or is receiving the action or is the beneficiary of the action that is being done. He is reading. He is doing the action. I give him the book. He is the recipient of the book. I gave him to my best friend. Let's say you have a puppy, right? I gave him. So one, he is the thing doing the action. He is reading a book. I read him the book. He is receiving the benefit of the verb. I gave him to my best friend. He is the object of the verb. Okay. Circassian works like this in a this is not a perfect analogy. This is not a linguistic explanation. I'm just trying to make it easy to understand. So when we say in Circassian, boy is ala. We do not have in Circassian the notion of the or a, definite or indefinite. However, we have a way of making something definite by adding or to the end of it, right? So sala is boy, salam is a specific boy or the specific boy. Salar is a specific boy or the specific boy. And then whether it takes an or an depends on what verb is in that sentence and whether the boy is doing the verb or whether the boy is receiving the benefit of the action of that verb. And that's the limit that I'll explain it. If people have questions, drop me a message. I can go more in depth, but that's beyond that. We'd be getting into grammar nerd out stuff, which is too much. All right.
So where should I drop you a message? Like send you an email?
Send me an email. Send me an email. And if you want, I'll send you my grammar book. I have a 200-page book on Kabardian grammar.
Can you repeat the one more time? The M.
Salam, salar. Okay, so well, we're running out of time here. Give me a second. So yeah. What do you guys think of the class?
Great.
Good. Glad to be back.
I'm a linguist.
Good.
Is there anything that you guys found scary or weird or confusing or a waste of time?
No.
Okay. So I apologize in advance. I will fix this whole breakout room thing. That is such a critical factor. It's a really cool part of the class. When we get together on Saturday, God knows what'll happen because we'll have all these Circassians from Turkey and Russia and Europe and Middle East and God knows where else. It'll be fun. The breakout rooms will be done by then. You'll meet a whole bunch of other Circassians. We'll continue. By then, we'll probably do a quick review of this and we'll go on to the next verb, which is yen, to have. Okay. So we'll leave it there. But before we wrap up, what I want to do, I would like to have 2 volunteers because what I'm trying to do, what I did before was I would record the whole class and then people would be like, oh, this is great. I can watch the whole class. The class is 90 minutes long. And if we had Q&A, they would sometimes be over 2 hours because people might have different questions. That's too long. So what I'd like to do is just do a 5-minute summary video, right? Where I do a walkthrough. Here's what we're going to cover. And then I do a summary so that people who missed the class or people who are in the class can say, hey, that's a 5-minute video, a 3-minute video. I do it. I'm done. It refreshes my memory. I don't have to go through all this mumbo jumbo stuff of people asking questions that are not relevant to me. Okay. So I would like to ask for 2 volunteers who can stick around for another 5 minutes and help me just do that recording so that my video editor can drop that and we can share this with people who are not able to make this class. Okay,
I would like to volunteer.
Okay, so anybody who wants to, you know what? Anybody who wants to volunteer, stick around, all right? And before we do that, I know people got to drop off. It's getting late. Are there any final questions about this class, any of the topics we covered, or any topics we didn't cover? Sonata.
Janty.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead. The time wasn't listed for me on the sign up flow or the email. For Saturday, is it also 5:30 EST?
No. So it should be. If we go to go.nasip.org/language sprint, if we go to the registration page, it should be there. Yep, and it is. And it says, oh, stop sharing. And it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Perfect. Didn't see that. Thank you.
Okay. Margarita from Poland.
Yes, I have a question. How long is the whole course going to be? Because you mentioned there's going to be 100 verbs, so like twice a week, 50 weeks.
So that I haven't figured that out yet. The short answer is I haven't figured it out. The longer answer is what I'm trying to do is make this an open platform that anybody can drop into and drop out of as they want. Somewhere in the back of my head, I'm thinking, hey, I can do 3 days a week, right? And I'm just going to do this for as long as I can, right? And I want to get to as many people as possible to help people understand it is possible to learn this language as an adult. This is not a hard language. It's just a language that takes a little bit more time, right? So one part of me says, I'll just go forever because, you know, I didn't start speaking Circassian until 15 years ago, and it's been 15 years, and I'm older than 15. Another part of me says, well, people are going to get demotivated. People want to say, hey, let me just do a 6-week program. Let me do a 10-week program, a 4-week program. So I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I started learning 15 years ago. I knew 0 words 15 years ago. I pass as a native speaker now. I'm going to keep doing this until I die. The only question is, you know, who comes along with me for the journey? So I'll figure that out. You know, if by April there's 0 people in the class, then that says 16 weeks is probably the longest, but I'm going to play it by ear.
Thank you.
Lara.
Okay. Yeah, if we miss a class, where can we get the recording? Like, will you send us a link to a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I'm still, in my professional life, I am a professional marketer. I have a shoestring budget to do this stuff, so I'm nowhere near at, you know, this is an okay standard, but it's like a B- for me. What I will do, what should happen is all the email reminders that go out will say, check out the YouTube channel for the most recent. However, I realize I have 3-4 different YouTube channels, so I've got to consolidate them all into one place. So stand by for that. In the meantime, check out the Facebook group. That's probably the most reliable source to be able to get them. Give me a week or two for all the email kinks to get worked out. But then what should happen is all the pre-class. Did everybody get the pre-class email that says the class starts in an hour? Yeah. So you didn't? Check your spam folder.
I will.
So those emails should say, check out our Facebook group, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, blah, blah, blah.
So what address do you want me to send the more in-depth grammar questions to?
The same email address that's sending you all the emails. You can respond. It comes to me. If you respond to that, it'll come to me.
Janty@yamisha.com.
Yep. Not Marge. The person
Donna.
who's not, I forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Donna.
Donna.
Marge Hagusa, right?
Yeah. Marjum
Okay.
Yishawasa. Mhm.
Okay. Just like a quick thing, like if it's possible, like if we stick into the content of the class instead of jumping from random questions, because like as I see, we are in different levels of speaking, understanding, and I might have like a problem with whatever you have in a slide. Like, so when you answer other questions that deepen in the content, I got lost, to be honest. That's just me. So if we can just figure out a way to save those questions to the end, at least we get the chance to know the content, practice it a little bit. Other than that, everything's good so far.
That's a very fair piece of feedback. And again, this class got a little messed up because the breakout rooms didn't work. And then I had to improvise and tap dance a little bit. So that's why we departed a little bit.
Okay, and I can volunteer for later on, but I don't know what I'm volunteering for, but I'll take a shot.
Fair enough.
I guess the problem is I have the opposite complaint is that it's hard to me to figure out like how I'm supposed to answer when I don't know what any of these moving pieces are. Mm-hmm. And so I sort of want to know how it works in order to be able to understand what the content even is.
And that's why honestly, that's a big reason why the breakout rooms are helpful, because if I have a conversation that addresses Travis and I have a different conversation that addresses what Donna is looking for, all of the rest of you may be just in la la land, like it's not applicable to you. So by going into the breakout rooms, there's only 3 of you. You know, if it's Travis and 2 other people, the rest of the entire class is able to progress in those breakout rooms. I can answer Travis's question, who he's probably explained to the other 2 people in the room, and like, yeah, that makes sense. I want the answer now too. So that's why the breakout rooms are so helpful to help me scale as a teacher, because, you know, even if this were like the worst public school in America, there wouldn't be this many people in the class. It's just a big class. All right, one more question, then I'm going to go do the review and we can wrap it up. Any last questions before we wrap up the Q&A?
Actually, I'll ask. So, do you have a list of the alphabets where we can like review on our own, or certain slides for that?
Go to YouTube, type Janty Amisha Circassian alphabet. On this first search result, I got 2 videos, each one 7 or 8 minutes long.
Yeah, I think Inel sent it.
Yeah, I put both links in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Janty,
Okay.
how do you say goodnight at Gavzacha?
We just for.
Just for.
We, your, just, evening, night, well, we just for.
I saw in the chat. I just wanted to say it out loud.
Yeah.
We just for.
Yeah. How do you say goodbye? Wazinshu. Wazinshu. Means be in good health. Wazinshu. Be in good health.
For.
Wazin show.
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 So this is one thing my former students will remember. One of the tricks that I do is I break the language apart so that instead of this just collection of weird sounds, you can process and contextualize what that means. So in Circassian, the word for pain means wuz. Wuz. Wuz means pain. Okay. Wuzinsha, when we add unsha to anything, it means it's the absence of it. So wuzinsha is the absence of pain. And in the Circassian mind, the absence of pain is health. Okay.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So, and then for some reason, we make it an adverb. I don't know why. So we say wuzinsho. Means goodbye. It means be in good health or be in the absence of pain. Wuzinsho. Okay. And then, when we say whoopso means life to you. Right. And whoopso is like thanks. The full, which is, you can say whoopso, it's not informal, it's just shorter. The full expression is tamwirapso. Or if you're a Westerner, tarapso. Right? Tamwirapso means God grant you life. So the way that we say thank you is God grant you life, or tamwirapso, or life to you. Whoopso. Life to you. Right? And then Donna, when you said before, shawasa, spouse, shawasa. Shha means head. Wasa means companion. So in Circassian, a spouse is the companion of your mind. Right? So this is just a way that I try to break down the language to make it easier to process, because the reality is, if you know a few dozen basic words, Circassian is a polysynthetic language. It combines lots of little itty bits of pieces to make very complex statements. If you know those little itty bits and pieces, you'll pick up the language much, 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 much faster.